All right, this is our project called SwiftGen. We're starting out here on the front page. As you can see, it has an image of Taylor Swift and a button that takes you right to our model. There's a bar across the top with links to the different parts of our page, which is about our product, albums used, our creation process, about our team, and the model itself. So because of the layout of the website we chose, the users have options to go straight. The option goes straight to the model by clicking the button named Try SwiftGen, or they can scroll through the website and see our various little tabs. We found a very well-designed template on Bootstrap that we customized to fit our needs. Some characteristics we were looking for was a template that contained images we could click on that would open to another window, so we could showcase Taylor Swift's albums, and some descriptions of them. Some other key features in the template that really stood out was the layout of the Our Teams page, the creations process page, and the changeability of the Contact Us page, which we turned into the place where we'd store our model.
About our product, the function. SwiftGen's function is to create lyrics in the style of Taylor Swift using a database we created from Taylor's most popular albums. The purpose. The main purpose of our model is for Swifties to have more Taylor Swift content to interact with and enjoy. And finally, the inspiration. The idea of SwiftGen came from mutual interest in pop music. Albums used. During our week 2 presentation, we mentioned an idea we wanted to add to our website. Our idea was to separately showcase some of the albums we used for any Swifties that are interested in the lyrics we used to create our dataset. To add to our showcase of albums, we took some interesting facts from Wikipedia for any new Taylor Swift fans who are interested in learning more. For example, if you click on the album 1989, you can see that it was released October 27, 2014, and that Taylor Swift used this album to change her artistry to pop after critics challenged her status as a country musician following the release of a cross-genre album, Red.
So for our creation process, we deleted a few points on the timeline that weren't needed and replaced the rest with what we did. And while creating the timeline, we realized it helped us reflect on all the learning that we did the past few weeks in AI camp. And as you can see here, from July 3rd to July 7th were our humble beginnings, where we spent most of the time learning the basics of Python and brainstorming ideas for our final product. Due to our team's joint interest in the pop music genre, we landed on the idea of SwiftGen, a model that generates random Taylor Swift lyrics. Then, from July 10th through July 14th, we had a data processing and model training era. Our team pre-processed the data by making sure the inputted data didn't contain issues such as repetition, grammatical errors, and lengthy lines. While in our training phase, our model came across problems regarding overfitting, which we resolved by making our dataset larger, increasing the variance of sentence lengths, and experimenting with different learning rates, in which we settled on 0.0005. Lastly, for July 17th through July 21st, we worked on our full product deployment, where we modified a bootstrap template to put our natural language model on a website. We chose the agency model and we edited our website to fit our needs, and here we are now presenting the final product. Our amazing team. We added placeholders for people due to our members exceeding the previous amount. Then we added a harmonic hawk logo that Kyrini created, and then changed the job titles, pictures, and names. We ran into an issue with the picture formatting, but that was quickly resolved. And this is our team: Shanav, who is our team leader, and Ben, Eric, Kyrini, and myself.
I'm so sorry. I don't know why it keeps crashing.
So before we test the model, I'm going to talk about how we trained the model. So we originally had 7,502 lines of lyrics and then shrunk it down to 1,876 by reformatting each sequence to have 4 lines of lyrics. We also edited out repeated lines, which helped us deal with the problem of overfitting, and utilized the GPT-2 tokenizer to tokenize each sentence that we fed into the training of our GPT-2 Neo model. We then chose to use 20 epochs with a learning rate of 0.0005 as it generated the lowest loss. The training took 8 minutes to complete, and it had a training loss of 0.138 and a validation loss of 1.196. We then deployed the model to Hugging Face and used their API to interact with it and utilize and adjusted hyperparameters such as top P, repetition penalty, and max tokens to fine tune the output of our lyrics. We then checked if the output was valid by determining if it contained multiple words that aren't English words. And if we didn't like the output, then we'd retry until the model output passed that inspection. So originally we had the user start the sentence by typing in a few words into the text box. But then we decided to have the lyrics randomly generated based on sentence starters generated from the first few words of Taylor Swift's lyrics, which we found to be more authentic to Taylor Swift's style, as well as more accurate. So for random generation, we used a data set of 951 Taylor Swift swim albums not used during training and kept only the first 2 or 3 words from each line. And then we'd randomly select which of these lines to input to the model once the user clicks on the button. So if Kyrini could test out the model, please.
Takes a little second to load, so. I guess while it's waiting, I'll go over the, we made a little video, because we found some extra time. Oh, wait. Here it is. So here's a little example of one of the outputs.
Yep. And since we changed it from the user inputting the start of the lyric to randomly generated from Taylor's actual lyrics, it gives a lot better outputs than what it was before.
We found a little extra time after like rehearsing our presentation. So we made a little video using an AI tool called Runway, where you'll input texts like, oh yeah, we'll input text and it'll produce a little video. There was a little difficulty there because they're not allowed to produce certain artists because of like copyright, and like you can't use their character as like without their permission. So it's a little difficult making videos of Taylor Swift, but we made a little, it's pretty much just a run through of the website itself. So not much new, but it's cool if you guys want to click on it. Kyrini sent it in the chat.
I'm already seeing some clever workarounds. I have to say that's really interesting how you guys tried to tackle the problem.
So yeah, what I found worked best was requesting like video from behind, because every time we tried getting footage of her face, it was like really weird and like it couldn't quite make her face look like her. Which we were told is intentional because like they can't use her likeness. But
there's definitely a whole deep fake issue, which is I think really impressive how well you got it set up. Like I don't know if I would have known it was AI generated if you didn't tell me. That's really impressive. It's also really interesting. I didn't think about pre-processing lyrics and having to remove redundant lines.
Well, I mean, like with music is like there's the chorus and it's like repeats over and over again. So we didn't want our bot to recreate that.
I hadn't even thought about the impact that might have on your training. Like that it seems clear and obvious, but I didn't even think about that. That's really smart. Awesome stuff, seriously.